All right, here we go. And is there a simulcast live on Facebook? Here we go. It's going to try to log me in on Facebook. Hopefully it takes me to the TNT group. Yeah, it's going to want me to log in, so I'm just going to cancel that. Okay, so we're live here, and this is the parenting and kid growth stuff. Give me a thumbs up if you've been watching any of my super complicated TikTok videos that I've been doing lately. Yes, all right. Half some of them. I've been trying to do one every like 2 days. And I actually have a lot just sitting there completed. I've done a few all together. But the basic theme of these is uh, saying things in a little bit of a way to get somewhat of a rise. I had one parent come to me and they were kind of offended by some of the things I was saying in my TikTok video. And my response, well, that's the video for you then. And Mondays, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. This is the one you need. So I have a lot more coming up, and a lot of those are going to be the topics of discussion here. So you guys, well, you have one tween and one teen, and you have a teen and a young adult. So they're insignificant now. Get out. You're over 18. Get out of the house. But a lot of this is that building, and this all started with me going to the different Oktoberfests. And well, Mariana, we were at the first one that we got together, and I've been to 14 or 15 of them since. Yeah, I'm trying to put together a YouTube video doing a lot of them. So watching how people are behaving, not just adults, but kids, especially kids, and how parents deal with those kids. And what I've been seeing, and something that I kind of predicted several years ago, there's a mental health time bomb that's exploding all over the place right now. And it's not localized, it's all over the place for what was done to them. What I'm seeing is kids that are like 9 and 10 years old are still 6, possibly 6.5. They missed the last few years of development. Everybody was treating them like marshmallow kids and bubble wrap, and lots of fear being tossed around. And these 6-year-olds had the rug pulled out from under them, and they never got to experience what normal was. And that right there, that 5 to 6-year-old group, that's where they start becoming a little bit sentient on stuff. Hey, I'm alive, I could die. They develop that little bit of sentience. So everything that they knew to that point got vaporized, and they haven't figured out. There has been, and I was kind of looking at some of the stats that are also appalling, number of different states. The kids that never went back to school, the amount of kids currently and still completely out of school is way higher than it's ever been in history, and in US history. It's just crazy how many kids are still out there. And I actually know of one. One of my friends has their neighbor has a kid who's like 13, and he hasn't been to school for 3 years. And I think the school district forgot about it. So, but that kid is still acting like he's 9 or 10. It's been crazy. So a lot of this is one of the topics I did was, does your kid cave to bossy kids? And that one I had fun. Erica's bossy. Erica gets bossy. Liam doesn't say anything. Liam would more walk away than deal with somebody who's just going to boss him around. And I think Erica's kind of the same way. She would probably kind of give a little bit of an eye roll and like, yeah, you're not going to force me to do anything. But Those are both black belt martial art kids. That's one of the differences. You can never make us do anything by force. And if you're going to try to force us, we can fight better than you can. So there you go. Um, Especially Erica and Liam, they do some amazing things. But I've been watching kids at the playground over time, or when I'm at an event like at Garlic Fest, watching kids on the playground as we're eating. Uh, there's lots of kids that are bossy, lots of them that are um, not getting checked, and parents mollycoddling the kids, bubble wrapping them, and blowing a lot of sunshine. So let's start off this one. Uh, let's start with Jennifer. Real easy. How confident is Erica? Let's do a scale of 1 to 10. Pretty easy.
How confident is she? I would probably put her maybe about an 8.
Okay. What about Liam?
Probably the same.
Okay. Of those, let's flip it over. What's those 2 points that are missing? What are they lacking confidence in? Or what situations do they encounter that we're seeing that little detriment?
I think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say just a little bit more of speaking for himself. He'll do it in situations where he's comfortable with people, but if it's in a situation where he's not so comfortable, he'll just kind of stand back and just kind of watch before he'll encounter or he'll engage.
Mm. I thought Erica's running now. I don't want you talking about me, man. Erica, same thing for you?
Yeah, pretty much. And there's still life skills that she hasn't yet learned, so she doesn't have the confidence until she knows it or feels. But
Driving's coming up. Parents
no,
driving.
she's doing really well at that.
I drove
Nice.
today.
Oh, Alexander got a motorcycle, so
Okay, that's scary.
Yeah.
the motorcycle rider in me is like, woo! And the daddy in me is like, oh my God. But no,
The other drivers.
He's doing everything right. He went through the training course, and we actually hooked up our communications in our helmets. So I was able to talk him through. We were riding the last couple of days, able to talk him through all sorts of. I lead through the corner. I'm able to talk him through all the stuff, and it was really, really handy. So, what do you think their teachers at school rate them for confidence compared to their peers?
I'd say a 10 for Liam.
Jennifer, what do you think?
Her confidence of her own knowledge of what they're covering in school is high. I haven't heard any complaints or at the conferences or whatever we have, but just she's doing what she needs to do.
I can answer that question.
You can't answer?
I can.
Oh, Erica says she can answer it. Go ahead and answer.
In a lot more of the math classes, I am much more like math and physics. I am much more easygoing about sharing my answers. But then when it comes to like writing and stuff, I am absolutely not, and will cower in the back of the classroom waiting for it to pass by.
Why?
Although I don't like my writing. I'm fine with.
Is it too, if is what you wrote too personal, or do you just suck at writing?
She's harder on herself.
Okay.
Which is what I do too. It's
yeah.
I say it's not a good writing, and then someone else can read it. It's like, or grade it. And it's like, whoa, why would that be an A, or why would that be, because I found it to be sucky.
Yeah, I write great copy now. I've always been an excellent creative writer. I had to do I've always been an excellent technical writer. Creative writing has always been a little bit of a challenge for me, but we did a thing a few years ago where I had to write several different stories, and it was in a type of genre that I have zero experience with and have no desire to be in. But there was challenge money at stake and ego that I had to match. But I actually wrote 3 short stories in 50 Shades of Grey style. And all of us did that in our Life Mastery Challenge group. And there was some that couldn't complete it. And apparently mine was decent. So
I don't know how confident Liam is sharing at school. I just feel like his teacher would say he's confident because he does so well.
mm. So would it surprise you to know that a lot of the other parents of the other kids who are actually kind of haywire, the teacher would maybe rate them a 2 or a 3, think their kid is where yours is? They would rate their own kid 9s and 8s and 9s.
Hmm.
Some of them would actually go for 10.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
So
I
are you saying
know.
there's some kind of a misconception?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And one of the big things that I'm seeing is that it's not so much the problem with the kid. There's a problem with the parent, and nobody's held that parent to task.
Mhm.
And over the next little while, I'll be posting actual photos that I've taken, videos that I've taken of parents not parenting, but parents looking at the kid going haywire and thinking, it's totally cool. It's all right. Where I know you two as parents would be, oh, hell no, my kid's not going to do that because it's not acceptable. So, all right. At things where you are chicken, is your kid a chicken because you are?
I need to ask Liam that.
I'd imagine so, yes.
I'm not much of a chicken, so I don't know.
Well, there's various things, it could be going on the highest water slide, or
Oh,
speaking in public,
yeah.
or speaking in public, or speaking in front of the class kind of stuff.
Avoiding confrontation.
Sharing your answers, engaging in small talk. Are they that way because of you?
I know my daughter is.
And in what way?
I think that she has seen me hold back in certain situations, and then it kind of keeps her from even trying in those situations. Like, if I can't do it, she really can't do it, kind of a thing, I think.
Interesting.
But Liam has different parents. He's got a it's just different because Dave and I are married, and
Mhm.
she didn't have that same thing. So with her, she was just with me for a long time. And then, Liam's never had that situation. So where I lack, Dave, is strong, and where he's weak, I'm strong. So it's like, it's interesting.
Jennifer, would you find that the same thing, that your husband kind of picks up the slack that you have, and vice versa?
Uh, uh, sorry. I think we round each other out pretty well. Like, there are things that, yeah, he approaches and he does, and he can fulfill and give her guidance on that I haven't been able to, or vice versa.
Nice. Nice.
But
Like, we would take Liam to the playground, and I would say, "Oh, stay away from those, stay away from there." And Dave's like, "You need to go home."
You're harshing the gig, Mom.
Yeah. He's like, "Seriously, you're gonna make this kid like not able to do anything if you keep around, because he's just not gonna try anything."
Oh boy. I
So
guess so, yeah. Well,
that's how it was.
guys do some stupid things too.
I know.
We do dumb
But it
things.
was helpful for Liam, to not have me going, oh no, being the protective mom. Because Annika never would have done those things.
Mhm.
But he's like running up to like the openings that are like up on my head height. Then Dave's like, oh, just let him do it.
That's
What
fun.
could happen?
That's fun. Okay. So that kind of, do you think that then having either sons or daughters that are, and I'm going to go both ways on this, one parent less, is that an issue? Like fatherless or motherless? Single parent
Yes.
households.
Yes.
And who do you think would raise a better kid, a single mother or a single father? That's just strictly opinion based. I'm just curious on what you think.
Well, I think that generally speaking, women are nurturers and men are more experiential based. And so they let kids try things. So I'm not sure.
See, and although I have a split situation, my kids never experienced that either. They have a wonderful mother and
Mhm.
an amazing father. I'm just going to put that up.
If I do say so
All right.
myself.
So changing gears for the last subject for the last 5 minutes. Uh, when did you start allowing negotiation with
Probably
your
From the
about 3.
beginning.
Yeah, from about 3 years old or so.
and what kind of topics were they? So what I'm seeing is and I've over the last several months, I've done an abundance of reading on these topics and education on these topics. I've done a lot of deeper work. Erica, you've been through life mastery stuff and going deeper on things. This is one of those things that kind of caught me, and I said, I need to know more about it. And then, especially going out into public, and that's what I've been using kind of the Oktoberfests for, is watching all of this in action and with a more educated eye. I'm
Mhm.
seeing kids raising the parents,
Hmm.
kids literally running things. Here at TNT, I had a discussion with one of the moms. This was a while back. She's wanting to ask her 5-year-old advice and opinion on whether the kids should do classes or not. And even when I confronted her on, no, it's going to be her decision. Oh boy, you're going to have a pony in your backyard in a few years, And what's that setting up for now? What
Are you
I
saying
always ask,
negotiation is like bribing, or are you talking just negotiation in that?
I don't want that. Well, what do you want then? And then the kid making demands,
No.
So I,
To me, that I don't see that necessarily as the negotiation that we
yeah,
do.
That's not how we did it.
But we
different.
do negotiation. We
That's
do,
that's
yeah.
that's just allowance.
Yeah.
Negotiation for me was when the boys got enough knowledge and experience to do a thing, whatever that thing was, more like, do we want A or do we want B? I
Right.
want A, they wanted B. Now the negotiation on what we're gonna do or eat or that kind of thing. And so I started, both boys were able to do it, but they were never allowed to throw tantrums while doing it, because that was an instant.
No.
I always told them I'm willing to have a discussion, but I'm not going to listen to whining. I'm always willing to have a chat, but I'm not going to listen to the whines and complaints but he gets to do this kind of thing. So we did it on some vacations where we'd pull the map out and where would you like to go and why? And even from a very young age, all right, you Google this area, you Google this area and type in cool things to do in, cool things to do in Denver, cool things to do in Boise, and cool things for kids to do. And that discussion would be back and forth, and well, I think we should go here and here's why. So that's kind of the way I did it. But what did you find that you had to convince your kids to do? Did you have to convince them a lot, or did they just obey?
They didn't get choices.
They didn't get a lot of choices.
Well, so here's what we did. We did parenting with love and logic, and that means in order to keep things so that you're still in charge, you give two choices that you can live with, and they get to choose one of those two things. It started with like picking their clothes. Well, you can wear this or you can wear this. No matter what, you liked both choices, and they had to pick one of them. And then there were other things. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that? You know, you had to live with both of them. They got to choose which one, but they were all things that we had already organized. So it made them feel like they had choices, but we really made the choice.
St. Francis clothes. It kind of reminds me, do you want to wear the blue shirt or the white shirt?
Yeah, right.
The blue pants or the beige pants?
Exactly.
Which
But
one?
it felt empowering to them. And so
Yeah.
then as you know, approaching double digits, then it gets more along the lines of what do you want to do? And by then they'd learned how to make some good choices.
Jennifer, how has that worked with Erica being several years older? Does that create a strange dynamic where, well, Erica gets to, or do you treat Aaron different?
They don't necessarily get treated differently, but we do. I mean, I don't like the whining, so that whining doesn't get what they want. So it doesn't really. I don't think they get too much whining involved. But
Aaron was a lot more.
yeah, Aaron whined a lot more, but I think for the most part, it's okay. Well, you know, Erica makes a choice at this time, and we're doing, you know, she makes a choice of where we're going to go to dinner or what. The next time, it's Aaron's choice,
Oh, that's
or
good.
we just kind of split it across. You know that okay, well, Erica, we're going to do this because this is what the decision was, and that's what we're going to do. But they each have their own interests. They each have their own, you know, kind of what they want to
Mm.
do or be, and so they're individual people. So
Erica, what happens when your choice doesn't get chosen and Aaron's does?
That wasn't happening a bit.
it's not too terribly much because we're such busy schedules there. Like Aaron's
Yeah.
going
All
right
right.
now, but
Aaron's on her own. I'm on my
Yeah.
own. We don't collide
But-
very often.
but when they collide, they're they're amicable and together. So
Right.
But
it's
and
not
it was probably done in such a way where they would always know that they'd get the choice the next time, right?
yeah, either the choice next time or I mean it's a lot. It's been a lot of growing up with either the positive reinforcements or the rewarding the good behaviors, not the bad.
Mhm.
So therefore, they've grown up with very decent behaviors, and I haven't had to really.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
really common in the successful parent models where regardless of what you're doing, catching them doing something right and working on that rather than hammering on the negative constantly. And we do similar here where we try to be more good finders than bad finders. And the bad ones, we want to be able to catch them and call it out. But catching them doing something right is really important. And that's one of those success tips that I think a lot of parents could learn.
Mhm.
My kid is constantly doing this and it's driving me insane. Well, how many things do you catch them doing right? And a lot of times those parents have nothing to say. So there's two wonderful books that I always suggest. One is How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk. It's a double author, Faber and Maslish. And they also have one for teens and one for small kids. So I recommend all the different ones there. And there's for the dads, there's a book by a guy named Dave Kovar. It's called Dad's Toolbox. And it's actually very similar to How to Talk So Kids Will Listen. And in that we want to be catching them doing good stuff. We want to be capitalizing on that, even rewarding for the good stuff. And the only time I've seen that backfire is with siblings where the one gets it sooner than the other one and starts getting the rewards for it, and it creates animosity between the kids, and then the kids start fighting more. So the parenting gets a little bit easier, but the dynamic between siblings goes sideways, but that's all fixable too. When your kid was too young to negotiate things with you, how did you deal with them still saying, no, I don't want to? Or did you just not give them the choice? I'm looking at Mariana and you're like, you didn't have a choice. This is what you're doing, boy. You're going to get it done.
There were times even at the young age that they didn't want to do something. I said, fine, then if you quit, you have to be the one to go advocate and go tell your coach or go tell your teacher or go tell. And because they didn't want to go do that, they didn't quit.
Isn't that wonderful though? Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm not going to be your voice. If you want to do and not go, then you have to go up there and tell them.
That's certainly a wonderful thing, because I've experienced that many times here. And it's funny because the parents usually tell me what's going on, and the kid comes in, well, did you want to have a discussion? No. And they go take the shoes off and get on the mat and they have a good class. and that's part of that quit ideal. A lot of parents push quit into their kids or don't want to take responsibility for that. We won't force them to do anything. Well, to a certain extent, Erica, stop bothering your mother. Oh, that's dog hair. That's the dog hair that we were talking about. Yeah, that's all over the place. But a lot of times, look at that hound. That's a fluffy dog. Wow. The weak parenting model has a lot of the kids doing the parenting, running the show, telling the parents what to do. And that kid gets to that breakdown point really super fast.
Mhm.
And they won't get through anything. They'll hit that roadblock because nobody's ever taught them that stick-to-itness, for lack of a better term.
Mhm.
And so we want everybody to be challenged. And when that breakdown happens, a lot of times we have to figure out why they're hitting that wall, why that quit is coming in there. And before, because you guys are kind of Gen X parents, before it was just a swift kick and like, get your butt out there, you're going to do this. And the stuff that I'm seeing through the schools now and seeing a lot of the younger parents doing, it's horrible. They're asking their kid for advice on where to go next and what to do next. How should we proceed? And when I see that, whether it's in this capacity or something else that I do, I always call it out right away, because it's crazy. And it trickles down more than just household behavior. It trickles down into public behavior. And so some of the things that I've been witness to the last few weeks have been just, wow. Even I'm surprised, and I was expecting to see some of that. So good. All right. That's all these discussions are going to be. I'm posing some questions to you. I have, oh boy. I have pages and pages of these things that I've already written out that I'm going to be doing videos for and doing video topics for. So as a first run, that was pretty good. Actually, this is the second run of the video last week. Keep it up. You guys are doing great. And continue sharing the videos and comment on the videos too. That way I can ask back and forth of what we're looking for is calling out the wacko behavior.
Mhm.
And commenting and enforcing what works, the solutions, being solution oriented. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should comment. I'll comment on some of them.
Comment on them, and
yeah,
things that you found beneficial or ways to solve that kind of problem. because that's the kind of stuff that needs to get out there. And like, I have a couple new parents in here at TNT that are like, give me more. I need more of that. And I've never encountered that. And I don't know what to do. And I don't know what books to read. And then they try reading one, and then the dad's on one side and the mom's on the other, and then they don't know how to communicate, how to move forward with the kid. Then the kid's being pulled in two different directions, and then the kid has behaviors and acts out.
Yeah.
So
More than anything, they just need boundaries to live within. And
big, yeah, boundaries are huge. So, all right, thank you,
Okay,
ladies,
thank
for
you.
your input. And
I'll have Liam come next time.
yep, go forth and enjoy your night. All right,
You too. Thanks,
thank
Mark.
you. Bye bye.